Boys and girls, welcome back to math. Today we are going to be rounding to the nearest hundred and the nearest thousands. So the first thing we need to do is put a name at the top. Go ahead and write your name. I will write mine. And let's go over that poem that we learned during the beginning of the week. Remember, it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, round that number to the floor, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, round that number up the line. We're going to be practicing using that poem to remind us whether or not we're going to be rounding down or if we're going to take that number up the number line. So the first part of our problem set today says to round to the nearest hundred. What I want you to do first before you begin is we need to know that we are rounding to the nearest hundred. So we're going to be putting boxes around our hundreds place. Please put a box around the word hundred. And let's begin. Number 1 says 634. Which number am I going to put a box around? You got it. The hundreds place. So put a square around the hundreds place. And we need to look to the number to our right, over here next door. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, round that number to the floor. Since this is a number 3, I got to round this number to the floor. So it's going to be a 6, and all the rest of these numbers turn to 0. 634 rounded to the nearest hundred is 600. Let's do number 2. 893. What place value am I going to put my box around? Yeah, the hundreds place. Go ahead and put a box around our hundreds place. And we need to look next door to decide how we're going to round the number 8. Remember the poem? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, round that number to the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, round that number up the line. So, what comes after 8? You got it, 9. And all the rest of the numbers turn to 0. So 893 is rounded up to 900. Number 3, we have a 4-digit number here. But we are still rounding to the nearest hundred. Which number in 2,671 is in the hundreds place? Right, the number 6. Put a square or a box around the number 6. We are going to look over here next door, and I have a 7. Is that going to round this number to the floor and keep it at 6? Or is it going to round up to the next number? Exactly. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Round that number to the sky. So we didn't do anything to our thousands place. Keep that the same. We are going to round our hundreds place up the number line. So I need to change that to a 7. And everything else becomes a 0. So 2,671 rounded to the nearest hundred is 2,700. Let's move on to the second part of our paper here. It says round to the nearest thousand. Now we're switching our places here. Put a box around the word thousand. We are going to be boxing our thousands place here. So for number 4, which number is in my thousands place? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Put a box around the 4. 4 is in our thousands place. 4,582. I gotta look next door. Does 5 tell me to round to the floor or round up the number line? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, round that number up the line. So number 4 in the thousands place is going to go up to 5, comma, everything else is going to turn to 0. Number 5, I have 6,193. Which number is in my thousands place? You got it, the number 6. So we got to look next door now. Is the number 1 going to tell us to round to the floor or up the number line? Yeah, the floor. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, round this number to the floor. So it's going to stay at the number 6. We're going to put our comma. And anything after the number that we boxed is going to become a 0. Our last one, number 6, says 2013. Which place value am I rounding to? You got it, the thousands place. Let's put a box around our thousands place, which is the number 2. And we're going to look next door. Is this number here going to tell us to round this number to the floor or up the number line? You got it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, round this number to the floor. So the 2 is going to stay on the floor at 2000. Everything after the number that we boxed is going to become a 0. So 2013 rounded to the nearest thousand is 2000.